Welcome, it's Melanie
and Scudio.
McClure with Ecstatic Hearts.
So today we are going to be talking about full body orgasms and multiple orgasms and going into an orgasmic state. So with no further ado, what is a full body orgasm, Melanie?
Full body orgasms. So full body orgasms is when you experience orgasmic energy running through your full body. So what most people typically experience as an orgasm is a brief climatic release that's centered in their genitals. And it's like a genital sneeze, poof, and then it's gone. And oftentimes, like, they're working the whole sex session to get there, and then it happens, and then you're done, and you're depleted, and you're tired, and you're worn out. And full body orgasms is what happens when we learn to waken our energetic bodies, to waken our bliss state, to let the ecstatic energy of love and connection and bliss and orgasm move through our whole bodies. And the thing with full body orgasms is they can originate at any part of our body. So it doesn't have to be just the genitals anymore that bring us such great bliss. And we can even experience full body orgasms as a purely energetic experience without any touch even being involved. Of course, we still like touch to be involved because our love language is touch, all about it. And just saying, there's so much more out there. And the great thing about full body orgasms is it energizes us. So the more and longer we have full body orgasms, the more and more energized we get, and the longer we're able to stay in lovemaking. And
so how does multiple orgasms and what's an orgasmic state tie into that?
Great question. So multiple orgasms is generally, there's two different kinds of orgasms in this category, shall we say. There's distinct orgasms, which is when you can tell, oh, I had a orgasm, and you can count them. And then there's the extended orgasmic state, in which orgasmic energy is flowing through your body for a prolonged period of time. And you can't count individual orgasms. There are no individual orgasms. It's more like you can measure the amount of time that you're experiencing an orgasmic state. And they can also go hand in hand. So we can have distinct orgasms within an extended orgasmic state. I mean, talk about blending orgasms and orgasms types. There's all kinds of ways to blend and mesh and morph and include and combine orgasms and various types of orgasms from all over your body, from your genitals, inside and out, and any number of ways that are possible.
Okay, so I know this sounds crazy, and I wouldn't have believed it until I started experiencing it myself. And most people probably can't even comprehend what we're talking about. But it's basically take your best orgasm ever, and then instead of making it last for seconds, have it last for hours. And then on top of that, you have like more and more orgasmic states on top of it. So let me do a little example. Okay, most people, and I'm going to talk about guys because for guys we work, it's a little clearer than this for women as far as how we ejaculate. So what we do is we typically get excited, and then we get to the point where we're past the point of no control, and then we ejaculate, and then we go to sleep, or we get tired, or we check out. And so with what we're doing here is we're learning to separate the ejaculation from the orgasm. And that's news for most people. I didn't know this growing up, but they're two different things. And you can have in fact, not only can you have full body, powerful, multiple orgasms and orgasmic states without ejaculation, you can't get there if you ejaculate because the ejaculation short circuits the process and takes all your energy and then you're done. So what we're doing here is you're getting excited, but before you get to the point of no return, You have an energetic orgasm, or one of these full body experiences we're talking about. And then that takes a little bit of the oomph out and it levels off a little bit, but then you go right back into building it even more, and you have another orgasm, and then you have another orgasm. And then so you're doing the multiple orgasm situation, and each one gets more exciting and more engaging than the rest. And then if you do choose to ejaculate or stop, you will come down a little bit, but if you go up high enough, when you come down, you might come down here, which is higher than any orgasmic state you've ever been in. And it'll start floating down a little bit, so you can like use the bathroom or cuddle, look at each other's eyes. You can eat, dance, whatever. But then you make love, and you can bring it back up again, and then you can do whatever you want to do, take a break, make love again. And so then you can start having again multiple orgasms, but you're already in an orgasmic state to begin with, and that gets really crazy. I mean, and then when you get high enough, you start having an orgasmic experience directly with the divine, whatever your belief is, directly with like the earth. You start connecting with other beings in amazing ways that we won't get into on this video. Okay, so how to do it? The good news is to get both full body orgasms and have multiple orgasms and get to an orgasmic state, it starts the same way, which is controlling your ejaculation. And Melanie can talk a little bit about how it works for ladies, but first of all, there's 4 keys to doing this. And by the way, do you want to say anything about the women's perspective on?
Yeah. So most of the practices that the men use for ejaculatory control also work for us ladies in strengthening our sexy muscles and strengthening our orgasm muscles, so we can also have more intense, longer orgasmic experiences and not get oversensitized and just worn out and tired and done at the end of it. So but the thing to know whenever you're working with a beloved partner who is willing to work on ejaculation control and achieving these multiple orgasms and extended states of ecstasy is we have to work with them and be patient and be in sync with them and listen to their bodies and be in communication. Because a lot of times when we're working with our men to become multiple orgasmic, we have to like pause. And we have to like hold still for them. And we have to be not attached to making our men ejaculate and come the good old fashioned way, the way we were trained to, the way we're trained to please our men, that makes us feel good, that they think we're sexy. I've
been doing this for 20 years, but if she wants me to ejaculate, I'm not so good at it.
We can push them over the edge, whether they want to go or not. So we got to be there in a partnership with them in wanting to do this. And remember that if your partner is working on giving up or not ejaculating so that he can last longer for you and have multiple orgasms and enjoy extended states of pleasure, then that means your partner does find you to be pretty damn sexy and does want to stay in a romantic, sexy space with you and does want to please you and pleasure you more. Because when they stay in a state of sexiness for longer, guess what? Gets juicier and juicier for us, gives us a higher likelihood of having an orgasm in the first place or reaching a multiple orgasms or the extended orgasmic state as well. We need our partners to be able to last longer for us. I mean, 30 minutes or longer is really good, ladies. And if you haven't experienced that yet, let me tell you, it's juicy, it's delicious, it is something to get excited about.
So there's 4 different keys here on how to do this. And Melanie's kind of alluding to the first one, which is it takes practice. Now, the good news is it doesn't take a lot of practice. It's fun to practice.
Practice makes perfect.
You just have to retrain your body a little bit. And for most guys that are doing some of the techniques I'm going to share with you, it takes a few weeks to get the hang of, and then in a few months you'll be able to master it. And believe me, the investment of time for both of you is well worth it. And
really, it can take a lifetime of practice to really achieve mastery.
Yeah, I don't know what mastery is. It just keeps getting better and better.
What else are we going to do with our lives, right?
Well, lots of things. But the cool thing is now we'll be juiced and empowered and motivated by our sexual energy, we're using it to do all sorts of amazing things in our lives instead of just wasting the energy and sending it out to the other. Okay, so practice. The way you want to practice for most people is, if you have a loving partner, great. I recommend learning this through self-pleasuring or masturbation. This is one of the interesting things, because a lot of us, especially guys, we're trained that masturbation is something you're supposed to do quickly and furtively before you get caught, and really quickly. And the problem is we've trained ourselves, subconsciously or otherwise, to be really quick at sex. And maybe there's a biological imperative to breed quickly. But the point is that we want to use self-pleasuring to retrain ourselves to last longer. And the beauty of that is, if you have an understanding partner, great. And it's okay to do this even if you have a partner. 70% of married couples, even today in America, masturbate. And so, first of all, it's okay to do this. It's okay to do self-pleasure, and that's the first step.
And from the woman's perspective, I see it all the time where women feel, or really either partner can feel jealous or upset about their partner self-pleasuring, like they aren't good enough, or
Right.
They're not pleasing their partner well enough, or why are they choosing to self-pleasure versus have sex? And it's like, it's okay. In fact, for the women's perspective, it keeps us juicy to self-pleasure and to keep the juices flowing. And by self-pleasuring, for both men and women, it helps us to actually learn our bodies better, and to learn how to orgasm, and to learn how to reach those orgasmic states sooner. And I can tell you, I spend time self-pleasuring before we make love, so that I'm helping to get myself in a juicy space where he doesn't have to take quite so long to get me all turned up and ready to go.
I mean, that's one of the ironies, is that the average lovemaking session in America today, it might even be worldwide, is 7 minutes. And the average woman takes at least 30 minutes to get aroused and turned on.
And that's like to even get ready for sex to begin with. It's no wonder women aren't enjoying it if the whole session's only 7 minutes. Like, we're barely even getting turned on.
Okay, so this is what you're doing, and both sexes can practice this, or all sexes. But what for men, I'll speak to that, is that you want to first of all see if you can last longer. The goal is not to get to the end as quick as you can. The goal is to last as long as you can while you're practicing self-pleasure. And so, and some studies have shown that if you can last 15 to 20 minutes, then you can last as long as you want during lovemaking. So it's not too impossible to achieve. And this is what you're doing. So there's a lot of different physical techniques and things you can do, but we're going to give you the core ones here in a second. The other thing you're doing is you're learning to sensitize your body. Like pornography, for instance, is an example where some of us use that to get aroused sometimes and get excited, and that's fine. But what you want to do is when you get to the point of arousal, you want to think internally. You want to start thinking about your body instead of projecting out and even using fantasies or whatever. For the purposes of this, you want to really start feeling, where are you in the cycle? Like, how close are you to getting to the point of no return? Because if you miss it, if you miss the window, you're done. So you really want to say, oh, I'm almost there, like on a 10 scale. Where are you on that 10 scale? And so that's step one. So you want to be sensitized. You want to see if you can practice these things we're about to tell you so you can last longer.
So you want to be in your body and present, feeling in your body and feeling connected in your body. And when you're practicing with a partner, feeling present, connected, and in your body, feeling your partner as well.
Okay. Number 2, you want to breathe, And it's like there's lots of different amazing breaths that we teach in Tantra. But for this purpose, the main one that we should all be practicing is just deep, full body breaths. And so let's see if we can see me better.
So these are transmutation breaths, breathing energy from our pelvic floor and sex up through our whole bodies.
No, not that one yet. We're just talking about full body breaths. So what you want to practice is just breathing deeply, breathing slowly. And so full body breaths, I'll give you an example. You just breathe in, and you actually expand your belly. Put your hands on your stomach, and then exhale, and then pull your stomach in. Get all the air out. And again, do this with us. As big as it'll go. And then your upper lungs, and then exhale. So just doing this for a few minutes a day will actually train you to breathe more deeply all the rest of the day. So practice this just a few minutes every day, just deep, slow breathing. If you do this, then it'll slow down the process, and it not only slow down the process of you getting to arousal, but it actually moves the energy through your whole body. So this enables you to have full body experiences versus just genital located orgasms. Okay, so practice, breath. Third thing is your PC muscles. Now your PC muscles, or your pelvic floor, is what surrounds this kind of the perineum area between your taint, between your genitals and your anus. It's that whole muscle underneath there. And what you want to do is you want to strengthen it, just like going to the gym, and learn how to get it stronger, because if it's stronger, it does a lot of things. It improves your health. It prevents you from having prostate cancer and other genitals cancers. It improves your energy. It enables you to have more powerful orgasms. The more it actually increases your arousal. And for our purposes, it helps you learn how to stop yourself from ejaculating if you don't want to. So it's great for both parties.
So for women, the PC muscles are the muscles that surround our clitoris, our vaginal area, and when we squeeze them, it controls the flow of urine. So relaxing, contracting these muscles controls that flow of urine, and for men also controls the ejaculation.
Yeah, also called Kegels. So the one exercise you can do is when you're peeing, just stop the flow. That's actually one of the first muscle things we learn as a kid. So, and then you pee again, stop it, pee again, and actually actually do practice this like every day, maybe twice a day, where whenever you're peeing, just like contract, release like 4 or 5 times, and practice pushing and contracting, and see if you can do that. When you can start doing that, that is a very good PC muscle exercise that doesn't take too much work.
And if when you stop the flow, you still have dribble coming out and you're not able to like actually stop it, that means your PC muscles are weak. And if you're a guy,
or if you can't stop it at all.
Yeah, and if you're a guy and you have like a lot of stuff that you can't stop, it's probably time for you to go in and see your doctor and just be checked out for health reasons.
Yeah, if your prostate's enlarged, that's when it has trouble for for ejaculation control and for urination control, because that's the muscle that controls that. Okay, so what you want to do is, and we'll give you another exercise here in a second, which is strengthening the PC muscles. When you get good at this, you can actually like put a towel on your erect penis and be able to lift it, and that's where your PC muscle is pretty strong. And another thing, in order to feel it, is you can put your hand down below, and again in the perineum area, and see if you can feel it contracting. It's a little subtle for some people, and then for women, you can start.
For feeling the PC muscles. Now it's a big muscle, so there's a lot of areas. But the easiest place for us to feel it, I believe, is at the clitoris, because the clitoris is wrapped around the urethra. So when we contract and relax that muscle, we can feel our clit pulsating.
All right. And then the last thing I want to say is focus. One of the things that you'll notice is when you start moving sexual energy through your body, it's going to intensify your emotions. So if you're focusing on love and connection and intimacy, then that's going to get juicier and richer, and it's going to increase your connection between your heart and your genitals. And that's what we want. We want this all connected. Tantra is about integrating all of your body parts and chakras. So feel your feelings, get in touch with your emotions, and feel whatever's there, and then bring your focused attention back to sensitivity, back to love, back to connection, and that's going to enhance your overall experience. All right, so we're going to show you a breath, and there's lots of different kinds of breaths. There's lots of different tools and techniques. We teach all this stuff in our Path to Ecstasy, which is actually coming up July 20th to 22nd.
Yeah,
so
that includes one of our most powerful tantric breath practices called the Cobra breath, which helps to really learn how to waken these energetic channels in your body, these paths to pleasure in your body, and learn how to really draw that sexual energy up your whole body and waken your third eye. It's amazing. Totally recommend it. But we're going to start you off with a simple, easy practice to start doing today to strengthen those sexy, juicy muscles.
Let's do it. We're out of time. So, Vaj, rolling mudra. Show us how to do it, sweetie.
All right. So start off by bringing your awareness and attention to the front of your pelvic floor, the urethra sphincter that we just talked about.
Make sure your back is straight. Very
And
important.
so for us women, this is where the clitoris is. For guys, it's at the base of your cock. You want to say where it is?
Yeah, it's the perineum, right behind your balls.
All right.
It's the PC muscles we talked about earlier.
Yeah, so close your eyes and just put your hand there and just see if you can bring your attention and your awareness there and feel pulsating, relaxing, contracting. Sometimes it's hard to feel it in the beginning because you might not have sensitivity there, but just keep attention and awareness there. And now, as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in and pulse at your own speed. So you're going to breathe in, do pulse, pulse, pulse.
And then we're visualizing
pulse,
the energy coming up our spine.
Exhale with a breath out.
And then imagine energy coming back down, maybe resting in your belly.
So you're breathing in and pulsing as you're imagining a silver stream of energy entering the urethra, coming up your body as you inhale, holding it, exhaling, letting it fall back down.
We're having minor orgasms for practicing this.
And exhaling with sound is super important. And this is a practice that you can do by yourself. Let's do it again, one more time.
Yeah, one more time. Do this at home with us. So again,
inhale,
back straight. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Visualize the energy going up your spine.
Hold. Exhale, side.
Visualizing your down.
Fully relaxing, pressing down.
And this is the practice that you do if you're getting aroused. This is self-pleasure or making love, and you're, let's say 10 is you're just barely getting started, then 10 is like you're ejaculating, 9 is your point of no return. It's between 7 and 8 is kind of the sweet spot where you want to do this breath. So you're making love, you're getting excited, doing whatever you're doing, self-pleasure, and then when you get to like the 6 or 7 part, you stop, and it's better to start earlier than later, and stop moving, and you breathe. You do this practice. You actually, and then you visualize the energy coming out of your genitals, up your spine, up your body, and then breathing back down, and continue. Even after you after you do the breath, just continue visualizing the energy moving up your body. And with practice, you'll get to the point where it'll just start doing that. You're kind of recreating the routing system of your energy spine or your neural network. And so you'll start doing this more naturally. You won't think about it anymore. But but you keep doing that. And then it'll take some of the woof out of your wiener. You'll be like, maybe from a 6, you'll go down to a 4 or 5. But you'll still be erect enough to continue. So then you get excited and continue back up, and then you stop and you breathe some more. And you do that, as many times as you can until you get to the point of return, or you just decide to stop. Maybe you do it 3 times, maybe you do it 10 times, and when you start doing that for hours, that's when things get really crazy. Anyway, that's all we have. Oh.
You can do this practice with your partner without sex to come into harmony with your
Practice
partner.
It every day.
Start feeling the energetic connection with your partner, and then you can also include it during sex. Although it can be challenging to actually do the practices during sex because of everything that's going on and all the distractions. So when you practice it without sex, you get it into your body and you get the energy flow into your body so that you don't have to think about it so much during sex, and the energy knows how to flow a little bit better, more naturally during the sexy.
And when you get good at it, you can do it without your partner even noticing. But anyway, so that's all we have time for. If you want to learn more, come check out ecstatichearts.com and
come join us for the Path to Ecstasy Cobra Breath series. Our next one is this July 20th through 22nd. In Austin, Texas.
So, please try this out, practice it, and don't take our word for it. Practice it for yourself and see what magic you can create.
All right.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.